Hello and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Gaming. We're continuing our Faith and Damnation Warhammer preview reveal online thing, the coverage of that, and we're going to look into Warhammer Underworlds in this video. Take a bit more of a deeper look into Kainan's Reapers, the new Ossiarch Bonereapers warband. So to start, I want to talk about the Ossiarch Bonereapers. They got their release and then were forgotten about. It was like, here's like a new army, and at the time, I recall it, they weren't really promoting it too much. It was like, oh yeah, here's a new army, here we go, and then that was it. The book came out, some models came out. This is the first new thing, if I'm correct, since that time. So it's been a while. It was almost like an army that they forgot. Like since then, we've had Lumineth Realmlords, and we're getting a whole new ton of Lumineth Realmlord models and a new codex. No, it's the wrong game. A new battle tome. So it's a little odd, and I've always had problems with the models. I think I've spoken about this a couple of times in that I don't get it. I've gone back and had a look through the range, and there's some models in there that I do like, but for the most part, I don't get it. It sits in a really odd space of we have the Soulblight undead skeletons, and these are essentially skeletons. They've just been put together in some weird funky ways, and I like the idea that they've taken all bones and manner of things from different creatures and races and animals and put them together to create these things. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like that when we look through the models now. The arm bones are the same, the leg bones are the same, even though they're somewhat being joined together. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Where I think my idea of what this army should be and my understanding of the army, it should be multiple different types of bones stuck together from different creatures. And like I said, you do get individual models are different from each other. Like we have one on their lower leg bones, like bits sticking out the side, and then another one that seems to be more like a pelvis or even a skull of some kind of weird creature. But that's the same on both of the legs. I feel that it should be more mismatched. We do see that bit better in the faces. The faces do seem a lot different, but then you get models that got the same upper legs, the same lower arms and things like that. And I just don't quite get the whole point. It seems like a very interesting idea, but at the same time, they're sort of replicating various things that they're seeing in the undead Soulblight armies. However, in saying that, I love the idea of the Mortisans, I think they're called, the models themselves, because they're huge models. They're almost twice as big as the other models, as we saw in the trailer, and they have the funky heads. That's what I'm more interested in. I think if they go the direction of these, take some cues from the heads, how the head itself seems to be made out of two sides of another creature's head, like the bottom drawer is like this headdress that comes across their face, and the faces don't look like medical laughing crazy weirdos. The faces, I don't like the faces of the range. And I think if they explore the idea of using bones in various different ways, I think that would be good. Like, why aren't they using ribs on the arms as like inbuilt armor? I know they have armor, and the armor itself I don't particularly like, but I think I said in another video, it's the paint job I don't like. I think the colors are quite right. I just don't fully understand. So this warband itself is a little hit and miss for me. It's odd, but then I always keep coming back to the Mortisan's head. I think that's really cool, and there are some other models in the range that do have that, but mostly it's these weird chunky conglomeration of bones that shouldn't fit together, but they do, and I don't particularly like that. Sure, they need to have like arms and legs because that's the design of them, but at the same time, those arms and legs could be more different. You could have rib bones sticking out in certain ways on the legs, like they've taken a rib cage and cut it in half and stuck it on and sort of fused together. So I think there are some interesting ways to create these models and sculpt these models. I just feel that it's not taken to, not an extreme, but to a logical conclusion of how we should design these. So I do have hopes for the range, I just don't particularly get it, and I feel that there hasn't been much love given to them. Like I said, the Lumineth have now will have their second battle tome released, and the Ossiarch Bonereapers are still on first. They've only really had one wave of releases, and there weren't that much in the range, so I'm a bit confused what they're doing with it. I think they need to take a more radical approach, as they've done with the Lumineth Realmlords. It's felt like the Lumineth had far longer and more rigorous design process, where these models in the Ossiarch Bonereapers feel like they've been like whipped up. It doesn't feel like enough time has gone into developing the whole IP, the whole design language of that army. And I just feel that if there was more time given to it and more contemplation given to the design of what they are, and just a little bit more exploration and experimentation. I'm not going to go into the cards, but as you know, these cards, there'll be like 60 or so cards in the deck. You'll get specific cards for the warband, all the members of the warband themselves, and then a whole bunch of other general universal cards. Even though it seems kind of a negative review of the models, I think it is, I don't quite get the models themselves. I think I'm lacking something to understand. Like, I don't quite understand the purpose. That's it. I've rambled on long enough. If you have got to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and hit that like button so we can get the YouTube algorithm working in our favor, and I will see you in the next video.